October 18th, 2015. From Las Vegas, Nevada, this is episode 84 of You Can Bet on That. Welcome to You Can Bet on That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. My name is Mark Duvall. Sitting next to me is Dr. Mike.
Hello.
And sitting in front of us is the Vegas Internet Mafia, playing bingo live at the D Showroom, Las Vegas, downtown. Welcome.
Is that? Thank you. Do we have a verified bingo?
I have a verified bingo.
We have a verified bingo. Is that Michelle again?
Yes.
It's rigged.
Michelle again.
You're going to be hearing a lot of bingo on this podcast, for those of you who are not actually here.
The next game...
There's a bingo game going on, evidently.
Apparently.
Move over to your next page. The next game is double outside.
Any two lines on the outside.
Any two lines on the outside.
Any two lines on the outside.
So it could be like this.
But it has to be an L.
It could be like that.
Yeah, okay. So, this is my 99th trip to Las Vegas. After I'd been to Las Vegas about 5 or 6 times, I thought, I better start keeping track of these trips so I have something to look back on.
You write everything down. He writes everything down that happens.
And I was hoping that I'd be able to make a trip this summer so that this could be number 100. But anyway, it's number 99.
Well,
now,
congratulate 99. That's
how many times
good.
have you been to Las Vegas?
I-24.
A little more than 99.
More than 99 times. Clearly more than 99 times. In the 90s, when I got married,
I-28.
Then suddenly our dual trip stopped, but you kept going.
Yeah, I had to.
That's right.
Someone had to.
Now, probably what everybody wants to know, Dr. Mike,
G47.
is how much nudity have you seen on this trip?
I'll tell you, this has been a nude-free trip. Well, wait a minute. If you don't count me taking off my shirt at the craps table.
He didn't take it completely off, but he showed some midriff. There's no question about it.
Otherwise,
I-29.
it's been completely nude-free, but it's not over.
The trip's not over. We're here through tomorrow, so maybe we'll be lucky. Listeners know somehow nudity just finds Dr. Mike. He doesn't look for it. He certainly doesn't look for it.
Oh,
68
is what it is.
Usually it's right in front of your face, right?
Right.
And it's
Usually it's
a little,
right up there.
A little depressing, yeah.
G59.
So we got a bingo?
No. You want me to slow down? Okay.
Oh, I thought they were talking to us.
All right, bingo's slowing down. So on Friday and Saturday, we had kind of craps tutorials over at the Golden Gate. And so I basically went to one of the empty tables there and was explaining the game to people who had never played before or people who had maybe just played a little bit, and I was showing them the game. So this older gentleman kind of came up, and I could, out of the corner of my eye, I could tell, I don't think he's with VIMFP. I think maybe he thinks I'm like, I work here and I'm going to be, explaining the game. And I was talking about one of the worst bets that you can have at a craps table, which is the big 6 and 8.
N37.
If you've ever seen it, it's in the corner of the table. It's a terrible bet because there's another place on the table where you can make the exact same bet but get paid more money.
Yeah, most tables don't even have it anymore.
A lot of them taken away. And at Golden Gate, they didn't have it. But I was talking about it. And so afterwards, this old man says, yeah, he was angry. I can't believe they got rid of the big 6 and 8. And so I was explaining, well, no, you don't want to bet on that. There's always a better place that you can bet. And he was saying, I'm just so mad. I think he thought I was working there. I was obviously not going to get through to him. So I eventually said, yeah, that is a shame. I don't know why they do it. They're just going to have to put that big 6 and 8 back there eventually. I don't know.
Security? Security? We need security here?
B9.
Now, last year during the parade, during the VIMFP parade, upstairs here at the D, it used to be coin in. And Mike had been playing some slot machine, and a bunch of dollar chips came out.
Yeah, I got a whole boatload of dollar chips.
Right. So he had them, and he was ready to cash them in, but there was a long line at the cashier, and then the parade started. And so it was a pretty big chunk of chips, right?
Probably had about
I-22.
$30 chips.
Yeah, $30 worth of chips. So during the parade, he's getting tired of holding them, so he just starts chucking them out onto Fremont Street. I mean, just, boom. It could have been hitting people. I'm thinking, there are people that sit out there performing who actually want this, but he's just chucking it out there. It's bouncing on the street.
It was a free-for-all.
So this year, he didn't have dollar tokens, but he did have some chips.
I had $35 and $5 chips from Golden Gate.
All right, so we're just walking on this parade, and those of you who went on the parade, we were kind of going in and out of places, and we're going in front of some, outdoor restaurants, right?
Right.
So you basically would just go up every once in a while. Yeah, here you go. Welcome to Las Vegas. And just give a $5 chip out.
N44.
And so this one elderly lady, I handed her the chip, and she gave me a look like, what the heck are you doing? I don't want this. And I'm like, it's a $5 chip at Golden Gate. It's for you. She refused to take it.
I think she was a little concerned. Like, if I take this, what am I signing up for? Yeah. So.
Well, those chips at Golden Gate have those dancer girls on it. She probably thought I was a flapper.
You're like a porn stopper, except downtown it's on chips, right?
It's on chips.
Straight to your room.
You have to go, ma'am. You took the chip.
B14.
We headed down to Main Street Station to play some craps because we'd heard some really good. This is all this story is about is how your experience at a table game is not necessarily tied to whether you win or lose.
I-25.
Of course, you want to win, and losing can be painful. But we went over to Main Street Station. And we started playing there. They have 20 times odds on craps, so it's like, great, here we go. This will be fun. Well, we started losing a little bit. So, some listeners were with us, too. And it wasn't going that well. But there was a box man there.
Oh, God, he has having a bad day.
And, he was just kind of surly, wouldn't look players in the eyes. Mike, at one point, you had a hard six that somehow disappeared.
Yeah, it got knocked off or something. And I said, wait a minute. I have a hard six because hard six came up. And he looked at me, no, you don't.
Yeah,
no, I do.
There was no,
you don't.
Yeah, no, you don't. That was it. There was no, trying to figure out what had happened. It was just no, and just was looking straight forward.
And the dealer is saying, no, he has a hard six. I put it out there. It must have got knocked off. No, you don't. That's what he kept saying.
Yeah. And so, after that, we thought, this is just, we're not enjoying ourselves. We could start winning here, and we're just not going to have a good time.
Right.
I-20.
So, we cashed in. Walked over to Golden Gate like night and day. The Golden Gate crew was so good, and particularly the box man.
The box man was great.
He's standing up and helping out with the bets and, cheering us on. I mean, a huge difference. Then we started winning. Of course, that's fun too. But, oh, my gosh, what a huge difference. Now, we were told by some people that Main Street Station that they've had good experiences there.
Right. Some of the players told us that.
So,
but we did not, so we left.
No, and I can't ever see us ever going back because you got to walk over there. It's not close to everything else. We had the bad experience, so we're not going to go back. It's really too bad.
Yeah, well,
G56.
That's why we're here, yeah. So we've had a very good time at Derek's properties. And here, I want to get this out of the way so that we really want to emphasize this. We want to thank so much everybody who's come out. We want to thank the 500, Tim and Michelle. We want to thank a Vegas gang, Vegas Tripping. We want to thank Denton, Dallas, and Beyond for coming out. And Chuck and Hunter, all of the work that they do. Tim and Michelle said this yesterday.
It's phenomenal amount of work.
They said this yesterday. We just show up. I mean, that's all we did. There was really, it's just come do your show. They do so much work. And Chuck has been at almost every event, emceeing everything. And yesterday during the match game show, when Chuck was up here mimicking mannequin piss with that smile on his face, I don't know if I lost it. That's the funniest thing I've seen in Las Vegas. He had that smile. It was perfect.
Well, he was the model for that originally.
Is that true?
I-16.
Yes, and that's why it's so true.
Okay, it's all clear now.
G52.
Okay. That's how it came out like that. And Derek Stevens, doggone it. Any of you who went to the Las Vegas Club tour the other day, right? We're about to go in and we sign these waivers, right? And Derek is saying, all right, we're about to go in, and we're thinking he's going to say, okay, please no pictures. This is
stick together. Nobody
G49.
This is proprietary
don't
information.
Touch anything.
Right, don't touch anything. We'll see. And he says, take as many pictures as you want. Go ahead and Periscope if you want. That's great. Also, if you see anything lying around that you think you might want to take home with you, go ahead and do that.
Yeah, just take it.
B5.
Unbelievable. What a difference it makes to have an owner that you see constantly on the casino floor is one of us. He was coming to VIMP before he bought these places. So I know I'm gushing, but Derek Stevens, thank you very much for hosting this thing.
Thank you very much.
I-18.
One thing we want to do, too, I've got my sister-in-law, Elle, is here. Mike's family is here, his brother and sister, his brother-in-law, and his parents. Ladies and gentlemen, a superstar when it comes to the You Can Bet on That podcast. Mike's dad, right here in the front row.
There he is, right there.
This guy, I got to go to bed. Mike's saying, Dad, I'm going to go to bed. All right,
I'm
that's
tired.
Uh,
fine. I'm going to go ahead and keep playing. He plays all night
G61.
long.
Yeah.
Dad, do you want to go get something to eat? No, I'm going to play some 3-card poker. It's going well. Unbelievable.
Yeah. He'll eat. Have you eaten this trip?
G61.
It's Sunday. Have you eaten
Oh,
yet?
61. There you go.
A little bit. We went to, last night we had dinner at BLT Steak at Valley's. And for whatever reason, I really hadn't heard much about it. It was excellent, don't you think?
It was maybe the best steak I've had here in Vegas.
It was the best filet mignon I've had here in Vegas. It was really excellent. Great service.
We've eaten at Hugo. We've eaten at all the places.
Yeah, Hugo's Cellar. We love here. We finally got to there, yeah. But I guess we'd have to recommend it. I mean, we got great service.
N45.
We had great service.
Yeah,
it was very good.
Yeah, we had a very good time. What else happened on this trip, Mike, that I'm forgetting about?
Oh, let's see.
G46.
Oh,
We won.
No, I remember.
We're winning.
Oh, yeah, it's actually a good trip. Now, I'm not ahead. I'm down but seriously, this is a long trip for us. We live in Southern California. Typically, we're here 1 night, 2 nights. So this was a dangerous trip for us to come on. We could really get
65.
hurt.
Very dangerous.
It's been great that we've been able to do all these VIMFP events to keep us away from the tables. So that's helped. But are you up for the trip?
I am actually up for the trip.
That's outstanding. So that's good news.
Yeah.
B3.
Kind of a funny story. We were playing at Four Queens yesterday, or maybe it was the day before. But anyway, it was a $5 table. And at one point, a gentleman walks up, and he buys in for $14.
$14. Where did he get $14?
So, I mean, that happens every once in a while. Though you'll see somebody who's just, I'm going to play nothing.
That's when you don't have anything left in your wallet but $14.
That's right.
N39.
Maybe you just put it all in the field, right? It's just
it's one bet.
So he bought in for $14. It's like, oh, well, haha.
And we're talking to each other saying, wait a minute, I've never seen that. I've never seen a guy buy in for 14. 11, 7, I've seen that.
G60.
Never 14.
And I don't even know what he bet on. I put in the field or whatever. But we're just, 14. Okay, we've seen that before. Maybe 5 minutes later.
Yeah, about 5 minutes later.
A completely different person, completely unrelated.
Not friends, nothing.
Walked up to the table.
Bought
B11.
in for $14.
$14.
That is, it sounds like we're making that up. He bought in for $14. Even the dealer's like, what? Another $14
Oh, 73.
So sometime we got another day here. I'm going to buy in for 14 somewhere.
Let's talk about this. We weren't sure if we'd have enough time, but if you're like me, when you're in Vegas, you're sort of cut off from the rest of the world, and you miss out on news. I'll come back from a trip, and it's like, oh my gosh, there was an earthquake or whatever.
B13.
Some of the news that broke just before VIMFP was starting was that daily fantasy sports is now illegal here in Nevada, the state of the union known for gambling. The Nevada Gaming Board basically said, hey, this is gambling, which it is. Everybody knows that it is. It says it's not a gambling website. It's gambling.
But they say that, though. They wouldn't lie.
G54.
Mark.
Here we are now in Nevada. I think it's ironic that here, our listener Matt was showing us. I think there's 6 states now where it's illegal.
6 that are illegal.
Right. But the one, gambling state, that's where it's also illegal. Right? Because they don't have a license. That's what they're saying. DraftKings, FanDuel, they don't have a
Oh,
license.
67.
They don't have a gaming license.
They don't have a gaming license. So
What about California?
Oh, yeah, you can still do it in California. There's plenty of states where you can do it.
So in California, we can bet on sports.
We can bet on
N36.
fantasy
We
sports.
can bet on fantasy sports, but we can't roll dice.
Cannot roll dice. That's right. If you roll dice, they've got to turn over some kind of card to make it work.
Love California.
I'll tell you, this whole daily fantasy sports thing is just going to come crashing down. Either the government's going to shut it down, or it's going to collapse in on itself when recreational players just stop playing because they can't win. And of course, the scandal we talked about on the last episode. It amazes me that there's a scandal that bad. And now you watch NFL games, and it's like every other ad. It's still...
Yeah. Last week
G51.
after the Charger game.
G51.
Was he waiting for us?
I just don't stop talking. It's like,
070.
Last week after the Charger game.
Bingo.
We have another bingo. The Charger game ended,
Who
and
has
they
the
had
bingo?
time to kill. They had a half-hour infomercial on fantasy sports.
yeah, right after the game, in prime time.
In prime time. Yeah, on night.
All right, I've been dominating the conversation, Dr. Mike. What do you got to say for us here?
Once again, I want to reiterate that we really have had a good time. And not just,
No bingo.
all the other stuff. It's the people. It's all the people. Everyone's
No
been so
bingo.
great. We've loved talking to everybody, meeting everybody. We really love that. I mean, it sounds weird to say, but that's what we do. That's what we like to do.
This has been out of this world, this VIMP for us this year. It's just been fantastic. Thank you for coming up. And it's funny, we were in here at about 1:30, and
B6.
we were in here at about 1:30, and there was nobody in here yet. Hunter was just in here. It's like, did everybody go home?
Yeah, they
it's the
went
last
home.
day. Okay. So, man, we really appreciate you staying that extra day and coming out here.
071.
We've got a lot of bingo to go through, so we're going to wrap it up right now.
Yeah.
Don't forget, give us a call on our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377.
Hold on a second.
064.
That's
Two wagers.
951-2-WAGERS. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
And we're going to talk more about what we other stuff that we did this weekend.
N40.
There's just too much to go in, so we'll talk more about what we did on our next episode, which will probably come out in a couple of weeks. Thank you, Las Vegas. This
Thank
was
you.
fantastic.
All right. You can bet on it.